All right. Good morning, and welcome to Real Deal Sports Show, talking sports of all sorts for the next hour. We're gonna be getting it in here on the Real Deal Sports Show. Myself, J-GILLZ. J-GILLZ, good morning to you. How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, Radman. Good morning to the whole Rochester 585, the Beat family. What's going on? Happy holidays to everybody out there listening, tuning in. I know you're getting your last-minute Christmas shopping going. If you're anything like my wife, I swear she waits to the last minute. Me, I'm more of a Black Friday shopper myself. You know, I try and get my stuff in early. But for all of those right now riding around doing your thing, we got a great hour of sports ready for you to go.
Yes, we do. And man, what a beatdown that took place inside the stadium last week. First, we salute the Buffalo 10. We broadcasted to you live from the Rock Broker Studio, 559 State Street. Get over there, get yourself, get your loved one, your significant other. Get them what they do to do, y'all. It's time to get off the pot now, y'all. Hey, you've been promising this and that. Hey, you got to put up or shut up. Let your significant other know what time it really is by stopping by Rock Pawnbrokers, 559 State Street. Sammy and his crew got an excellent sale going on right now. They can help you make things happen. They got a layaway program. He might even help you. If you mentioned that you heard it on the show, he might even help you take the layaway into the new year and pay it off sometime in January. So, hey, my word is got somewhat gold over there. With my boys at Rock Pawnbrokers, Sammy Cruz and everybody. That's why we broadcast live from the Rock Pawnbrokers studio each and every Saturday morning. We salute Buffalo 10. We salute you. We'll never forget that day in May, that it'll live as a day in infamy in the Black historical minds of African Americans across the world and the country of what went down at that top supermarket. And we salute the 10 people that lost their lives in that day. We salute you. And also, coming up later in the show, we're going to have a guest on talking about a Rochester legend that unexpectedly passed away a couple of weeks ago, Kenny Jackson, Edison Tech legend, won a sectional back in 1999 and was just a real good dude, a real good man, a family man. His son, star quarterback for East High School, helped lead them to the sectional championships this past season. Saw him on the sideline. I never met the man. When I saw his face, I remember passing him on in the crowd there at the game. He was always there. His whole family supporting his family, and everybody has so many kind words to say about this young man, J-GILLZ. And we're gonna have a guest on later in the show. Any comments right now, J-GILLZ?
No, just a travesty for Section 5, a travesty for this area, and we're just keeping the family in prayers.
Yes, we do. We do. Our hearts and prayers go out to the Jackson family as they're during their time of need, and especially during the holiday season for something like this to transpire so unexpectedly. We'll talk about that later in the show, and we're gonna get into some interviews right now. But the Buffalo Bills offense has been working on almost all cylinders the last 4 weeks. I told you all along, Bills fans, keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands a little bit. Let other people handle the ball and let him handle it a little. He only threw the ball 15 times, 7 completions, 94 yards. 94. You would think the defense shut him down. But no, the opposite was happening. The running game, I told you, the Bills' offensive line is one of the few lines left in this season that has not been injured, that has not lost anybody. Their line has been intact. They're more of a running line than they are a blocking offensive line, ladies and gentlemen. I've been saying it the last 3 years. If Devin Singletary was still here, or Zach Moss, they would be reaping the benefits of this offensive line. They just never gave them the ball enough. Even James Cook said it last week. He just wasn't getting the ball enough in this offense. And we're going to go to this interview with Joe Brady, Bill's new interim offensive coordinator, to hear what he had to say about how did he get the juice flowing? How did he get this offense back on track?
Good afternoon, Coach Brady. George Radney, Challenger Community News. How you doing this afternoon?
Well, how you doing, bud?
Question: what is it, the energy that you bring? Because most of the guys that come on, from James Cook and some of the offensive linemen, and especially Deion Dawkins in the offensive line, they say you bring a lot of energy to the room and with the guys. And I'm just wondering, where does that come from? Where does that energy that you have come from for the offense to bring that to the offensive room?
Yeah, look, I have a passion for this. Like, I don't coach just because I feel like I have to do it. Like, I love doing this. And so I don't love just sitting in my office and just being able to just watch tape all day and try to game plan. Like, I love being around the guys and communicating with the guys and being out on the practice field and installing. Like, I love that. And so It's not don't get me wrong, there's some caffeine involved, but there's not. It's not a fake energy. Like I love it, and I think that's important. And whether it's a fake it till you make it type of mindset, it's not. It's go out there and I think if they see the passion that I have, the love that I have for this game and doing what I'm doing, maybe that they'll kind of mimic that.
And how important is it to you to have a line that's been together for the season? That knock on wood, the guys they played every down together. How important is that to have the continuity with an offensive line?
It's huge. It's huge. Run game and pass game where Josh knows. Unfortunately, we have guys that are behind those guys, David Everett and Bates, and guys that we feel full confidence that they have to go in there, they're going to be able to have success. But knowing how the pocket's going to be, knowing with those guys communicating if they're in any double teams or combination blocks of playing with the same guy over and over. I mean, it is huge, and I know it's rare in this league, and I'm grateful that we've had the same 5 guys this year, and I hope to keep that going forward. All
right, one last question for you. What is the athleticism of your line too? Between Morris being able to move, Deion Dawkins being able to pull, and you having the guys do a lot of creative blocking now that I hadn't seen in quite a while with the Bills offensive line.
Yeah, look, I think it's we always talk from a pass game standpoint is, hey, how can you put your players in position to have success and get this person running this route, but it's really no different from a run game standpoint in approaching blocks and how guys can block, and that's what Coach Cromer does such a great job of, just utilizing what skill sets of his offensive linemen and knowing. And then of knowing what they do well and how to put those guys in those positions based upon how we can set a front or some other characteristics, and then Brandon Bean just putting together those guys where this is the type of offensive line was built for this time of year, right? So being able to rely on them and them just kind of taking it and kind of running with it was I think is important. It was fun to see.
All right, thank you for your time, Coach. Good luck this coming Saturday. Good luck.
Yeah, appreciate it.
There you have it, J-GILLZ. Joe Brady. I didn't realize the guy's only 34 years old. He's the same age as my oldest son. Man, he's very young, J-GILLZ.
Very young, very accomplished. We look at his days in college, being so young and then having such success with top tier talent like a Joe Burrow and a Jamar Chase, being the co-offensive coordinator for, as the fanatic would know, those LSU Tigers. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So being able to work with another young quarterback like Josh Allen, a dual threat, getting the most out of him, I think he's doing a phenomenal job, right, man? And while Bills Mafia is rolling high, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but you gotta go there, because earlier this season, I talked about it. I felt the personnel just wasn't together, and I do feel the same sentiment. However, I do feel Joe Brady has utilized those guys, but when it comes to some of these pieces, I love James Cook, being able to run the ball like he was effectively. It's all about the matchups, and let's just be honest, he ran all over the Cowboys. The Cowboys was a bad matchup for the Buffalo Bills. But I still see some deficiencies when it comes to James as a pass catcher. Although he did have that touchdown, huge plays, over the last 4 weeks since Joe Brady's been playing. I've seen some bad drops from him game after game. I don't know how reliable he's going to be in the passing game moving forward. He's proven to be good, but also when these big matchups come up and when you can't stop the run, I'm just worried about Josh Allen having the ball in his hands, like you said. He only had to do 15 attempts. I told you last week, Reverend, I said he's a certified bucket. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to getting the running touchdown, getting the passing touchdown, he's going to do it. And I have every confidence in it. But we didn't see the turnover of Josh Allen because of the 15 attempts. But I don't think every game's going to be this 25 carries. I mean, he's going to try and run the ball. Every team tries to run the ball.
It should be. I think it should be. It should be.
But every team, some teams are going to be able to stop the run. You might not see that now with this remaining 2 games against the Chargers and the Patriots. The Dolphins game, that's a whole nother thing in itself. We're going to save that right there for the brand new year, that debate. But, moving forward, we talk about Super Bowl aspirations for the Bills. You got to learn how to continue with that run game. And the ball eventually is going to be in Josh Allen's hands. And I think that's when the big test is going to lie.
Absolutely. And also, I think if they keep running the ball, go with some more play action. And you're right, they're using Cook as a workhorse right now. You still got Ty Johnson. I was hoping they would elevate Leonard Fournette and get him in a game like this week in LA against the Chargers, especially next week against the Patriots in cold weather, most likely next weekend back here at Highmark Stadium. I would want to see Leonard Fournette in there, a veteran like that, who's in the locker room instilling Cook, because I think they're using Cook an awful lot the last 4 or 5 weeks. Even the Denver game, he ran the ball. Even after that fumble he had in the Denver game, he ran an awful lot. They need to run. They need to run Murray a little bit more. Fournette, get him in there. Ty Johnson, if you got to elevate, I would move Murray to be the odd guy out right now. And but Murray looked like Ty Johnson looked like he might have a sprained AC joint. That could give him some trouble. I would sit him today against the Chargers, let him rest up, put the human battering ram out there, Leonard Fournette, and see what he can do. If the Chargers are good against the run, but if the Bills come out running a little bit, unsuccessful, go to the passing game, become successful, then come back to the run. That's what I like what I'm saying. He's not forgetting about the run. You go past a little bit against a team like the Chargers who are weak in their secondary, but then come back to the run as the defense is getting tired in the second half, especially, and use that human battering ram, Leonard Fournette, and also then run Cook a little bit and run Ty Johnson. I mean, you keep running these guys at them, the defense can't help, because this is Bills have a very good offensive line. These Morris can move. We're seeing Deion Dawkins do stuff that he did his rookie year. He's pulling from the left tackle position and coming back into the center position and meeting the guy head on. And we saw what he did to Fletcher Cox. I mean, he laid Fletcher Cox out. And how about the highlight reel of the year this past Sunday against number 33, Damian Clark? I bet Damian Clark know who the hell Deion Dawkins is. After I never seen the guy get hit, fly through the air, and Deion Dawkins just jumped up in the air and put all his weight, like he came off the top rope, landed on Damian Clark, took all the air out of Clark, man. And I don't know what he said, but all the Cowboys were looking and they were calling to the sideline, yo, we need help out here, man. Come help this man. Because that was a brutal hit. I mean, the Bills forced their will on the Dallas Cowboys and made them. I think we got to give credit,
to the Walter Payton Man of the Year for the Buffalo Bills, Deion Dawkins. I think that when it comes to offensive MVP right now inside the locker room, Bills fans won't see this, but that's why we're here to tell you. It really boils down to Deion Dawkins. Deion Dawkins is the leader of the team. He's the one taking accountability, whether it's with the media, whether it's with the players. He's breeding confidence, instilling confidence, not only in Josh Allen, but in his offensive line. Center like Mitch Morris, Osiris Torrance, Spencer Brown. He's claiming that he's the leader. He's the alpha in the locker room. And, I know we have an interview from him that we'll probably be playing later on today, but we have to give him his credit when it comes to Deion Dawkins and the leadership that even from the week one in New Jersey, against those Jets when they lost, he was the only one with his head held high because he knew exactly where the Bills could be. So when it comes to this season, you talk about an MVP player, it's definitely going to be Deion Dawkins for me. He is head and above heels, the best player on this team this season.
You already know, man. It's Deion Dawkins, and you listening to the Real Deal Sports Show on the Beat 105.5.
And a fan of the show
as well. That's why he the GOAT, man. That's why he the GOAT.
That's right. And we told him he's having his best season as a Buffalo Bill. This is his 6th year with the team. This is his best season. He's doing some outstanding blocking moves on the field. But let's go next to defensive coordinator Eric Washington, or defensive quality control. Because the head coach, the head coach is the defensive coordinator, Sean McDermott. But let's go to hear what Eric Washington has to say about some of these new guys that we might see later today.
Good afternoon, Coach. George Radney, Challenger Community News. How are you doing this afternoon?
Doing well, thank you. Good afternoon.
Excellent, Coach Washington. Thank you for this time. Question.
Yes,
I just was noticing the practice squad, Eli Ankel, who's had some significant playing time in the past with the team. How's he's progressing, as well as Andrew Brown, the other defensive tackle that you have on the practice squad?
Absolutely. We're glad to have Eli back. He was signed away from us for a few weeks, and now we're able to get it back. And Eli is on the ready. He does a good job in practice. Veteran player, knows how to play. Has played in multiple schemes. This one is different than some of the other defensive concepts that he's been a part of. So he's ready to go. A big, strong player, but also can give you things initially. He can give you quickness up the field, and he can be extremely disruptive. Andrew Brown, really excited to have them. Explosive player. He's got a lot of strength, a lot of functional strength, great in the meeting room, smart, a lot of things that he can pull from in terms of experiences. And he's also a person that we wouldn't hesitate to turn to if we had to. So really glad to have both of those guys in the room, not only for what they mean for us defensively, but what they do every single week to help our offense get ready to play.
Excellent, Coach. Thank you for your time and have a great week. Good luck this coming Saturday.
Thank you.
And yes, indeed. Later today, we're going to see. I would not be surprised to see Eli Ankou added to the roster or Poona Ford, because as we found out earlier in the week, Jordan Phillips, one of our favorite guys, but he gets hurt a lot. He broke his wrist, or he has some type of wrist injury. It must be a broken wrist whenever you have to have surgery immediately after the game. I mean, he had surgery on that wrist Sunday night, according to Sean McDermott. We saw him heading to the locker room holding his wrist. But I remember Marty Oba made that point. So that's what we saw. We didn't realize it was that serious of an injury. So he's going to be out indefinitely, at least 4 weeks, because he's on the inactive list. He's been placed on the inactive. So Jordan Phillips won't be out there tonight. So I'm thinking Eli Ankou, or we'll have, besides Eli Ankou, maybe Poona Ford may make a return.
Absolutely. And you still got Tim Settle, who's been playing phenomenal this season and last season. But Radman, let's not forget the rumblings for your guy, Daquan Jones, coming back as well. Was a limited participant in practice, and he's going to be a huge piece, especially with Phillips going out, moving down the stretch.
Oh, definitely. If he can come back maybe the last week of the season against that Miami game, or next week against the Patriots, they got him on a 21-day window, which means he got a chance to play tonight. Obviously, the coach ruled him out for tonight, but I'm thinking maybe the Patriots give him some snaps, maybe not a whole lot of snap counts, because he tore his pec, and those guys usually, it takes a while for that to get the strength built back up in it, and it seems like they tear him. It seems like they tear him again too. It seems like that seems to happen a lot. So you don't want that to happen. One, to build that muscle back up, that pec muscle back up, and hopefully be able to come back and be able to help the Bills out. Because also with Linville Joseph, man, the Bills are really all of a sudden having a formidable defense. Because ever since Linville Joseph showed up, that 345-pound brother from the Caribbean, man, that brother throw that. I don't know if it's the oxtails or what, man. That brother, you can't move that brother, can you, J-GILLZ?
Even with the bionicle arm, my man's had the arm brace on, still making plays. Just a big guy, you know. So when it comes to that defensive line, that depth is definitely there. Jordan Phillips is going to be missed, because as great as Daquan Jones and Tim Settle and Ed Oliver, Jordan Phillips really brought that pass rush up the middle with his big frame, 6'7", 320, 330, 40 pounds, you know, being able to get to the quarterback. So that's going to be truly missed as well. So a guy like Linval is going to definitely have to, you know, he's no pass rusher either. So, you know, they're definitely going to try to find some pressure. Maybe Von Miller can continue to do what he needs to do on the edge. AJ Epinesa, not sure what he's looking like. But the other MVP with on defense, my man's Leonard Floyd. What a phenomenal season he's had. Was able to get 10.5 sacks. This is his first 10.5 sack season since 2020, back when he was on the Los Angeles Rams, playing next to the one and only, my man's over from the Rams. I done forgot his name, man.
Oh,
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah. And he was playing with Von Miller, absolutely. So,
yeah,
you know, he's got a chance to, in this late season in his career, get the most sacks he's ever had in his season. All he needs is one more. You know, he's tied with 10.5, was able to earn that $1 million incentive. And we got to give him his credit as well, as how well he's been playing on the defensive side.
Exactly, absolutely. And Baxman, if you have that Leonard Floyd one queued up, we can play that one right now. That Leonard Floyd interview.
This one obviously weighing heavy. 10 sacks, got $1 million incentive. I know it's not about the money, but how does it feel to you knowing that late pickup in the season, but you still got a lot left in the tank?
Oh man, I just gambled on myself, man. Real underdog this year, going out on a 1-year deal and just hitting the ground running, man. Just believing in myself, in my training, in my coaches, and in my teammates.
in your teammates, and that has a lot of weight because your leadership has been impeccable. What's the message that you've been having for the team this year?
I've been preaching getting to the quarterback, man, making sure guys know that it's a challenge every week to get to the quarterback. I'm talking crap, and I'm taking crap. If Ed get a sack first, he gonna talk shit. If I get one, I'm gonna talk shit. It's a motivation, a secret motivation that we got.
You seem to always see you late in the game, as the game goes on, you get better and better. Mm-hmm. That's when your sacks seem to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Critical parts of the game. Is that your endurance from your training and everything?
Yeah, it's endurance from training, knowing what moves I got and what moves I can do in certain situations. Certain calls allow me to do certain moves. Just going out and executing at a high level.
On the third.
There you have it. There, he show you how he talk a lot of stuff on the field. There, J-GILLZ, and the man, he gets it because the later the game goes on, the better he becomes. He becomes a much better.
It's got a huge motor in motor when it comes on the field, and motor when it comes to tenacity and competitiveness and rooting his boys on and getting the best out of his defensive line. And mind you, this is his first season here in Buffalo. And you would have thought that he would have been a vet on this team for years, the way he's able to galvanize those young guys, the Greg Rousseaus, the AJ Epinesas. You got to give him his credit. And I think that we have to start looking at a lot of these older guys who may not be, the free agents. They still have a lot that they can bring to these teams, especially when it comes to their wisdom and experience. When you got a young defensive line like Buffalo had, getting a good guy like this, it's irreplaceable. So a lot of these guys, if you need a veteran, go and get the veteran, man. He'll turn your team around.
Yes, indeed. And the Dolphins looking at Ndamukong Suh. He made a visit there, and I'm sure Ndamukong Suh making visits to a few other playoff contending teams. And you may see him sign in the next week or so and get him into a playoff. Boy, he's getting later and later. Before it was halfway through the season. Now he waited to the last 3 or 4 of the regular season, and he's going with a bona fide playoff team. That's right. If you can do that, that's just greatness. That's using the system to benefit you.
Absolutely. Zach Ertz, another guy who's available as well, waiting to make his move, waiting to see which offense he can poach. So we'll see as well. Another savvy veteran, tight end, Zach Ertz, who will be on the move as well.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And lastly, let's hear a comment from former Buffalo Bill, a Doug Whaley draft pick, y'all. Y'all always talked about my main man, Doug Whaley. Doug Whaley is something. Doug Whaley guys are still playing, and could be a future Hall of Famer that Doug Whaley drafted for the Buffalo Bills. Dude, I'm talking about Stephon Gilmore of the Dallas Cowboys. Let's hear what Stephon Gilmore said about why is he still playing. He done won Super Bowls with the New England Patriots. Why is he still on the field?
He's a great fan base, great atmosphere, and it's good. I mean, I didn't like losing today, but it's good to see this team coming around.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah.
One last thing, after the years, because coming through with Doug Whaley and the years, how do you want to continue to play after all these years?
Greatness. I want to be remembered as one of the greats, so that's why I still play the game.
That's what gives you the energy and the motivation.
Yeah, they give me the motivation to keep coming out here and competing at a high level.
There you go. And that was Stephon Gilmore. Man, a few words. He didn't talk a lot when he was with the Bills, but he let his talking on the football field. The Bills, he ended up leaving Buffalo at a time of a little chaos, a little things were going on. He went right to New England, won him a Super Bowl ring with the New England Patriots. And everywhere he's gone, Indianapolis Colts, and now to the Dallas Cowboys, he's still a shutdown corner. And that's amazing for a guy to continue to be a shutdown corner, even on the twilight years of his NFL career. Because I looked at him, I said, man, you look just like you look as a rookie, man. And he said, oh, no, I'm not, man. But he does, man. He looks almost, you look at him and say, gosh, man, you got the same body size. It look like nothing really changed. Maybe about just the dreads. That's about it. He had it since his rookie year and all of that. But the guy, man, J-GILLZ, comments on Stephon Gilmore.
33 years of age, you know what I mean? Another veteran guy who was able to go in the Dallas Cowboys and make them a better team. We talk about 11 years of experience, 2 All-Pros in 2018 and 19 with the New England Patriots, played for Carolina, made the Pro Bowl. Indianapolis, and now Dallas. I mean, I think that he's definitely a savvy vet. I wouldn't call him a shutdown corner personally. I mean, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. Not at this age. He's played good, but shutdown corner. Nah, I don't see that. He didn't have an opportunity to shut down anybody last week with those 15 pass attempts from Josh Allen. We'll definitely catch his speed this week. Tomorrow, Christmas Eve, when he goes up against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. I want to see the shutdown corner tomorrow. That's what I want to see.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna see that. We're gonna talk about that next week too. We're gonna recap that because I think teams don't seem to go at him that as much.
I forgot. We got a Cowboys fan up here.
Spoken like a real true Miami Dolphin fan right there, J-GILLZ. Way to be real subtle with that. That's what you want to see.
Let's see that shutdown.
Jalen Waddle. That's what you want to see.
Next week.
That was
talking about a shutdown quarterback.
I know, wasn't it?
I was a true fan, Rad man. You hear this guy?
Yeah, call me by surprise too. Man.
My Cowboys gonna bounce back. Just remember that, J-GILLZ. We coming Christmas Eve. You heard? We coming.
Hey,
after that,
come on down to Miami, man.
We coming.
Come on down to Miami. We ready for you.
Hey, he's gonna shut one of them down. Whoever he's on, let's see what kind of production. Because the guy is smooth. He doesn't. I mean, it's like he glides on the field. It's like he's not really running. He's running but gliding, and he stays with his assignment, whoever his receiver is. And it's and when they do catch the ball on him, they really have to work to catch the ball on Stephon Gilmore. So that's
he's
what
definitely. I mean, 2 interceptions this season, 12 passes deflected, forced fumble. He's been wreaking havoc. You know what I mean? Especially without his running mate Trevon Diggs, who would have been a great matchup.
Oh yeah.
But then even allowing a guy like Bird to come through with his 6 pick sixes on the season. So he's definitely been a veteran out there. Y'all know it's a little biased when it comes to next week's game, but now we got to give him credit. But I still think the age, 33 years old. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but it seems like it's not affecting him as of yet. He's still able to do his thing, and they go to Bland. That's why Bland was able to get those interceptions because they're going more on his side of the field, most opposing teams. And we'll see what Tua is going to do tomorrow with that situation. And while we're here, we want to let everybody know our award-winning Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, Farmers Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Health, and Life Insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue or 511 Bean Road, Suite B. Give her a call, 585-360-0094. Give our award-winning. When you want an award-winning insurance rep who's won many awards from the Farmer Insurance Agency helping you, she helped me and my family save a hell of a lot of money, and I'm guaranteeing you she can help save whatever situation you might have. Give Miriam a call. If you're hearing from other overpriced insurance agencies, hey, give Miriam Rivera Insurance Agency, Auto, Home, Health, and Life Insurance, 1038 Lyle Avenue or 511 Bean Road, Suite B, area code 585-360-0094. Give her a call. Let her get a quote in there. You might be pleasantly surprised that she's saving you and your family some money that you could use for other things around the house as well, J-GILLZ, right?
Oh, absolutely.
That's right. And we also have Challenger Community News, Western New York's largest weekly African-American newspaper, thechallengernews.com or 585-766-3590. If you want to get on some advertising in the paper, if you have articles, send to editorial at thechallengernews.com. Send articles in. The Challenger will be back on January 11th. The famous Martin Luther King special edition will publish on January 11th. So I'm sure you want to be on that edition. Check out the Kwanzaa edition, as well as our 60th anniversary edition, 60 years of in business. I mean, everybody can't say that, J-GILLZ. 60 years in business. That's out on newsstands and at businesses throughout the community here in Rochester and throughout Western New York. Check out the 60th anniversary edition that published on December 7th and December 14th, the Kwanzaa edition to end the year for Challenger Community News. Check out that edition as well. And last but not least, our friend of the show and advertiser, Image Printer, Manuel Floyd. Image Printer Marketing and Publishing Company, 585-360-0132. If you need those fans to cool people down during their church services, or if you need a banner to put out in front of your business, things of that nature, check out our friend of the show, Monwell Floyd, Image Printer Marketing and Publishing Company, 585 area code 360-0132, J-GILLZ. I'll tell you what, it's going to be your Dolphins. You got a lot of injuries on that offense. 4 of your 5 offensive linemen are missing on your line. And you see that, do you think they're going to slow the passing game down and run the ball, since they saw how Buffalo was able to manhandle the Cowboys last Sunday? Do you think that might be part of your team's game plan?
Well, that's always been a part of the game plan right now. As you know, the Dolphins are number 2 in rushing yards per game. They definitely they're able to run the ball. Number 1 in passing yards per game. 2 are leading the league in passing yards. So they've always had a great balance when it came to the rush and the pass throughout the season. I think that's going to continue. They're not just going to sit down and run the ball, ground and pound, especially as you alluded to, Radman, when you have a guy like Robert Hunt, our starting right tackle, out for the starting right guard, out for this game. You have our number 1 PFF ranked center, Connor Williams, out for the season. Teron Armstead bruised and battled with injuries. But the one thing about it is the Dolphins' offensive line, the depth there has been quality depth, still been able to win a lot of games, still been able to be number 2 in the league in rushing yards per game. So they're just going to continue to do what they've been able to do. Raheem Mostert able to break Ricky Williams' single-season touchdown record. He's at 20 touchdowns right now, tied with Christian McCaffrey in rushing touchdowns. Devon Achane, who's been hurt, he's finally back and healthy, adding another elusive speed guy who can break away at any time for a huge gain. I mean, when it comes to the Miami Dolphins, it really boils down to Mike McDaniel, his coaching, his play calling, which has been impeccable this whole season. And is he going to be able to utilize his skill set and his talents to minimize the Cowboys? One thing that was exposed last week at America's Game of the Week is the Cowboys linebacking core. Outside of Mike Parsons, they're very small. They can't stop the run at all. That's going to be a huge deficit. But again, like we just talked about with Stephon Gilmore, you still got a guy like Tyreek Hill who's going to be available. He's been getting his all season, leading the league in 15,000 yards right now. So I think it's going to be a very balanced game. But that's not to say that the Cowboys can't get it done. Have they been the same team on the road? Absolutely not. Do they need this bounce back game? Absolutely. Am I counting the Cowboys out? Oh, heck no. I'll be a fool to do that. But I will say that Vic Fangio's defense since Jalen Ramsey's been back has been the number 1 defense in the league, and that's really where I'm leaning on. I know you talk about the offensive line, but to me, it's more about the defense. The defense that has been played ever since Jalen Ramsey got back has been phenomenal, shutting down the run, shutting down the pass, getting to the quarterback, even with a guy like Jalen Phillips out for the season. Guys like Andrew Van Ginkel coming on and doing what he needs to do, force fumbles, pick sixes. Guys like Zach Sealer still playing great. That's why I was surprised. I would love Ndamukong Suh, don't get me wrong, but the defensive tackles that we have right now are elite status right now. I'm talking about Zach Sealer, talking about Christian Wilkins. They're playing elite. Definitely quality depth with a guy like Ndamukong Suh, but the defensive line has been a huge, huge positive. Bradley Chubb, AFC Player of the Week, coming through, forced fumbles left and right. After that very costly penalty against the Tennessee Titans, which I believe cost us the game, along with that poor defense that the Dolphins played in the last 3 minutes of the game. Let's not even go back to that.
And that was physical play. They physical play. I'm just wondering how physical can the Cowboys become. And on their defense, I was shocked at how small the Cowboys linebackers were. This number 14, Marquise Bell. Man, this guy, he could not. It's rare that you see a linebacker miss the angle. He missed it every single time. He never had his angle down right to get to James Cook. When the Buffalo ran the power sweep or ran it to the sideline, his angle was horrible. It was like, man, who is this guy, man? He's like a strong safety trying to play linebacker, trying to pretend to be a linebacker. And if I'm the Dolphins, I would try to expose some of their linebacking core. And you didn't hear Micah Parsons' name because he was getting blocked. He was getting hammered. Those guys were getting hit, man. And you saw it in the Cowboys locker room afterwards. Those guys were sore, battered. The medical doctor, every team has their medical crew in there, and guys were definitely getting some assistance or talking to the medical about some of the ailments they were feeling, because they were and battered up pretty good. But number 14, Marquise Bell, he got to do better at getting his angles, how to move across as a linebacker and make sure you meet the running back at the hole, or you meet him wherever the running back going on that power sweep move, because he was way too high. He was coming up too high, and James Cook's speed. James Cook was already by him almost every time. So they definitely have some work to do. I'm just wondering how physical the Dolphins can be. Can they become a physical team? And A-Chain, can he run the ball effectively? I think he can run effectively, but it's just, are they willing to run more than pass? Are they willing to sacrifice their passing game a little bit to run the ball a little more? Because it's obvious the Cowboys linebackers is the way you got to go. Jonathan Hankins did not play against the Bills. Hankins, and he's a big guy. He's a big 300-pound nose guard. I think if Jonathan Hankins is in there, that would definitely help the Cowboys a lot up front. So that's going to be a big money game coming up on Sunday. And while we're here, let's do some of these picks and give you some of these picks here while we have here. We'll get some picks going real quick. That Cowboy Dolphins game, I've been leaning toward the Cowboys all week, and then looking at their defense and looking at their linebackers. It's going to be a tight game. I just have a feeling the Dolphins secondary is not going to be as strong. And I think some of CeeDee Lamb needs some help. I didn't see too many guys helping him out last week. That was another thing. The tight end caught a few passes, but Brandon Cook, they got to find a way to get Brandon Cook the ball. I'm leaning toward the Cowboys, hoping the Cowboys win this one, but I don't know. I have a feeling that the Dolphins will win this one outright. It's a pick'em game. I have a feeling the Dolphins will find a way at home to beat, because the match. Every game is a matchup, and the Dolphins, it's all about matchups, and the Dolphins have a little bit more better matchups than the Cowboys in this particular game coming up later today. Steelers at home. I'm just a Steeler fan. I like to see a Steelers. I don't know what their wide receivers. Where are these dudes? They need to get AD back. AD need to come back. Cause AD, he had his faults. He was something else. But man, he always gave 110% on the field. AB, Antonio Brown. Excuse me, AB, Antonio Brown.
You talking about AD, our guy in Houston.
In Houston, right. That guy in Houston, he always gives 100% too at the bar and everything, man. That guy gives 110% AD. But AB, man, that guy used to hit people, block. And for a guy to say he didn't want to get hurt, that was a bad look on George Pickens to say something like that. But I think Tomlin's going to rally the troops. I think they're going to find a way to beat the Bengals today. The Bengals are hurting. Chase is not going to be playing. So I would take it as a pick'em game. Take the Steelers in that contest today. Take them today in that contest. Buffalo, I think that's way too many points. I think Buffalo win the game 12.5, 13. I think the Chargers, some of those guys are going to show up. They cut their best defensive tackle yesterday. I don't know what that was. He was a captain too. So I don't know what was said. Something was said. Something went down in the locker room or on the practice field for them to outright cut their best defensive lineman yesterday afternoon. So they outright cut them. So it's a lot going on there with the Chargers. So they may show up. Yeah, you don't know what you're going to get. But the guys, Eckler, I know Eckler's going to play. He's going to give 110%. I don't know about the quarterback. This is a good game for the Bills to disguise their coverage as always and fool, just like they did Dak Prescott last week. Fool this Eastern stick, fool him, and get on top of him early. Win the game by 10 or more. I don't know if they can win it by 14, 12 and a half, 13. They could, but I hate big spreads like that. Buffalo should cover the spread. But Buffalo going cross country after an emotional game last week. And the last 3 weeks have been emotional in Kansas City. Before that, the Philly game, which they should have came with. They beat the daylights out the Eagles. They did everything but win that game. Take Buffalo in this game. If you want to bet it, take the Bills. Indianapolis and Atlanta. Yeah, I told you. What did I tell you about DeRitter? I told you he don't belong in the National Football League, man. How the dude gonna throw an interception at the damn goal line? What is wrong with that guy? Man, you get the field goal, you got the win. You running around, throw the ball away. Just throw the ball away. He threw it right to the Carolina guy. Carolina wins the game 9-7. That was a hell of an under. I wish I didn't take that under. That was a good game for an under. But today, take the Indianapolis Colts. I like the Colts. Green Bay playing at Carolina. I think Green Bay will find a way to win to cover the 6 points because Carolina just not. They just don't have the horses down there. Take Green Bay to take that one. Cleveland, Houston, a pick'em game. I like the Browns in that one. CJ Stroud is out for his second game. Case Keenum led him to victory. I wish Case Keenum was still the Bills' backup quarterback. I like him. Cleveland, I like Cleveland in that contest later on Sunday. Tennessee, Seattle. I like Tennessee at home. The Titans. They that's one thing. Vrabel has those boys playing tough. They play tough physical football. Take them in that contest. Jets, Washington to see which team is running to the bus the quickest. Who's trying to get on the bus in that game? I like Washington to win that one. That's a pick'em game as well. Detroit, Minnesota with all kinds of playoff implications. Minnesota getting the 3 points. Detroit just seem to have their number right now. I like Detroit in that contest to cover the 3 points. Tampa, Jacksonville. I've been winning money. I hope you've been with me for Tampa Bay the last 3 weeks. Tampa Bay's been winning me. Baker Mayfield, you're not one of my favorite guys, but man, you my favorite guy the last 4 weeks because you've been showing me the money, man. He coming out with Evans, Godwin, guys. Well, everybody was talking about Green Bay. Man, they blew Green Bay out by 14 points. I didn't think they'd beat them by 14, but I damn sure thought they'd cover the spread. So take them again. I like Tampa Bay at home against a questionable Jacksonville team with Trevor Lawrence. He's up and down right now. Take Tampa Bay to win that outright. I already picked Miami against Dallas in the pick'em game. New England with 7. I like New England getting 7 out in Denver because Denver's pretty shaky as well in that contest. Let's go to Monday night. I like the Vegas Raiders getting the 12 points against Kansas City. Kansas City and the Raiders, Kansas City always plays down to their competition, and they're going to always play down again to the Raiders out there. It's in Kansas City. It reminds me of it's the reunion of the longest game ever played. I watched it at my grandmother's house, 168 Maple Street. I saw that game started at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, didn't end till 5 minutes to 8. That's how the double, triple overtime. Longest game ever played. Stinneroo kicked the winning field goal. That was Christmas Day, y'all. We had our turkey, enjoyed, had dessert, everything. We went back for seconds and thirds, man, but before that game ended, J-GILLZ. Hell of a game that Christmas Day in 1971. I can't believe that's that. And I remember it like it was yesterday. Hell of a game. I remember the family coming together on 168 Maple Street. That's the fruit belt of Buffalo, New York. Kansas City, I like Kansas City. I like the Vegas with the 12. Philadelphia giving the Giants 11. I like the Giants with the 11. I don't like the Giants much at all, but I think they'll hang in there against Philly. Last but not least, the Big Daddy game of the weekend, Monday night football. Baltimore at San Francisco. Baltimore talking a lot of smack. They don't like that they're underdogs. I'm taking the Ravens with the 6 points, J-GILLZ. How you feel about that?
I mean, it's going to be a great game. Oh, man, I can't wait. You know, I got to go see the color purple on Christmas Day, but I definitely picked the 5 o'clock showtime just in time to get back in time to watch the San Francisco 49ers versus the Baltimore Ravens, which will easily be a Super Bowl matchup for the year. I think it's going to be a physical game, a tough game. And let's not forget, there's also a lot of MVP as well. We're talking about Lamar Jackson and Brock Purdy. This would be a great chance to see who can do that out to get the odds on front runner for MVP.
Absolutely. So check our picks out. Check the website out. Check us on Facebook. We got a lot more interviews on the Facebook page, Real Deal Sports Show. We got Mike McCarthy up there. That interview's up there. We got some other interviews. Deion Dawkins interview is up there, and we have several more. So go to Real Deal Sports Show on Facebook. Check out the interviews. Check out our post game from the Cowboys game with the black media from Western New York, the Mighty Oba, Mookie Hawkins, the Radman, and J-GILLZ. Check out our post game out there at Highmark Stadium after that Cowboys beatdown. And next up, before we roll, I see we have a guest here with us, and we have Tanisha James Mundy joining us. Good morning, Tanisha. Good morning. How you doing? And welcome to Real Deal Sports Show.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. And I just wanted you to come on because I know you're a good friend of Kenny Jackson. And I just want you to tell the listening audience who may not have known the man just a little bit about him and why he's a Rochester legend.
Oh, man, Kenny was a Rochester legend. He was amazing. More importantly, though, what's legendary about Kenny, in which not that it's anything new, but he was an amazing father. You know, he has a son that just made Player of the Year or All Greater Rochester Player of the Year for football, and Zymir Jackson. Kenny was player of the year in 98, 99, I believe, for basketball at Edison Tech. So he's he's one of my Tech brothers. He played basketball. He brought Edison and Coach O'Toole one of the first sectional titles his junior year, and that year he was player of the year. So Kenny was an amazing guy, an amazing man, and it's rare that, not rare, but when a person like him, he was young, and he was suddenly taken from us last week, and which was super surprising, because you always seen Kenny laughing, smiling, joking. He was celebrating his son's success in football this year, and he was always with his family, always with his wife. So it's nothing bad you can say about the man.
Exactly. That's what everybody's been saying. And a good businessman with Action Jackson Construction Company. So he grew up in Rochester, lived in Rochester, stayed in Rochester, opened a business in Rochester, and gave back to this Rochester community. Correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes, indeed. And I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on with us, and talk about him, because this is someone that made Rochester a much better place to live. And
Absolutely. He had an infectious smile. Whenever you would run into Kenny or see Kenny, he always was positive. He was a great vibe. He was just somebody that was good to be around. You didn't have to avoid him. You know what I mean? And it was never a dull moment with Kenny. You know what I mean? Me and him spent probably like an hour in the Wegmans entrance out here at Wegmans, and we just talked about family and life, and what he was doing and how he was preparing his son, for these years to come, and he was all about his family and his kids, and and it was just shocking and heartbreaking to learn of his passing.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And is there a foundation or anything that people can give to, or anything of that nature?
No, I'm not sure. Or if the family's doing anything, I'll ask. But I know that his son is preparing to go away to school. So I don't know. Maybe we'll talk offline and try to figure out some things for the young man as well.
Absolutely. Wagner College. He looked like he's going right now, accepted at Wagner College. We look hopefully we'll have him on the show as well, Tanisha. Thank you. Sorry, I apologize. We're out of time, but I want to thank you so much for taking your time to come on Real Deal Sports Show this morning and let everybody, the Rochester community, know about Kenny Jackson. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. And as we wrap up, we wrap up. Thank you so much, Baxman. I know you're back on there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, man, you guys.
What up?
What up, cuzzo?
You family. Oh, man. Yeah, man. Rad man, J-GILLZ. We got a big game coming up, my brother. If I don't answer my phone when you call, you'll know why. And if you don't answer your phone when I call, I'll know why.
Oh, man. You ain't lying, man.
Oh, man. I'm looking forward to this game. I'm looking forward to the holidays, and happy holidays to you guys. Merry Christmas and all of that good stuff.
Exactly. Happy holiday. Exactly. We look forward to seeing everybody next week before the new year, and we'll get it in next week. Talking sports of all sorts next week as well.
Yes, indeed. Keep it right where you need it, Rock City. Y'all know what time it is. Real Deal Sports Show every single Saturday morning, 8 a.m. right here on the Beat 105.5. Don't go nowhere. The Back in Time Mix Show is on deck right here on the Beat.